Hey everybody, Coach Sean, the Rip Grandpa. Inside this video, I'm going to share how and why I personally use carb cycling to stay lean 365 days of the year. And I've mastered this process for over a decade plus now because I consider this the anti-diet. And so all that really matters when it comes to a dietary regimen is sustainability and adherence. And so at the end of the day, if we take the word diet, we spell it out, and we just drop the T, what's left? D-I-E. And the research bears this out. 94% of all dieters regain all or more of the weight that they lose. So it doesn't matter how great a diet works if you're going to gain the weight back. There's only a 6% chance you're going to succeed. And so what I'm going to share inside this video can help you become a 6%er. And that's my only goal, is to help people become a 6%er, because 80% of Americans are now overweight or obese. And this is ridiculous and it's uncalled for. And here's the thing. When you strategically know how to eat carbs the right way, you can still indulge in all your favorite carbs and your favorite cheat foods and enjoy alcoholic beverages, actually accelerate the fat loss process when it's done properly, like I'm about ready to share in this video. So up here, you see your body, which is a picture of a box. I know that's funny looking. It's all going to make sense in a second. This little box could change your life, so pay close attention. Here, I'm going to talk about the reasons why I feel that carb cycling is superior to other dietary regimens, and I'm going to talk about the different types of carb cycling days that I personally use. So inside here is your storage tank, and this is where we store carbohydrates in the form of an energy source called glycogen. So in here is glycogen. Now here we have bone, tissue, organs, and hormones. Now the two that we want to focus on primarily are thyroid and leptin hormones. These are the two hormones that actually are responsible for helping regulate your body weight, that control the speed of your metabolism, and they also help regulate your body temperature. 3 factors that can determine how many calories your body burns on a daily basis. Now, with that all being said, every time that you eat a carbohydrate, it's the only macronutrient the second it enters your mouth, it's instantly available for energy. So if you're not burning this off through your basal metabolic rate or through everyday activity, you're going to start storing these carbohydrates in the form of glycogen in muscle and liver tissue. And so every time you eat carbs, if you're not burning them off consistently, eventually you're going to store glycogen in muscle and liver tissue until it's full. Now, if you're not keeping the body in a deficit and you consume those carbohydrates, there's nowhere else for them to be stored and you're not burning them off. They have no other choice. They're going to spill over and they're going to be stored as body fat. So this is where the low carb trend comes into play, because most people don't realize that for every gram of carbohydrate you consume, your body holds almost 3 grams of water. So the first thing that happens when people get to this point and they start getting fat, they blame carbs, so they cut carbs until they drain all that glycogen out. But this entire time they're losing weight on the scale, they're really just losing water. Now, this can be a necessary process because it allows your body to access stored fat as a fuel source. So what ends up happening is when the glycogen tank is all the way down here, now your body actually can come over here and it can use stored fat as a fuel source. Here's where the problem comes in. People now are blaming carbs because if they bring carbs back in their diet when they're down here, they're storing those carbs in muscle and liver tissue, but they're gaining weight on the scale and they think it's body fat when it's really just water being restored inside these tissues. And so what ends up happening is people decide just to stay down here and eliminate carbs altogether. And this can become a disaster for the metabolism and the hormones of people who are over 40, 50, or 60 years old. Because the second we hit our 40s and our 50s, there is a decline that takes place hormonally and metabolically. Our metabolic rate does slow down more than normal. We do have a decline in testosterone known as andropause, menopause for women, obviously having hormonal issues. And then we have a decline in growth hormone called somatopause. And so people think that low carb diets are going to help them stay lean for life, when in reality, it affects us hormonally. The first thing, like I mentioned, is there's a dramatic decline in thyroid and leptin hormones within a week of low-carb dieting. Most people don't realize that glucose from carbohydrates are a building block of thyroid hormones that helps convert T4 to T3 in the liver so that your cells can receive the active T3 hormones that your body utilizes to control your metabolism. This also communicates with leptin levels, so again, helping regulate your body weight. Not only that, this hormonal decline leads to metabolic adaptations, also known as metabolic slowdown. So your metabolism starts burning less calories every day because your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, slows down. This also can lead to deficiencies. So the paleo diet is low in iodine. Iodine's a building block of thyroid hormones. If we do things like carnivore or keto, yes, they can work temporarily and they're very anti-inflammatory for certain individuals, but at the end of the day, are you going to go the rest of your life without eating a carb? I highly doubt it. Not only that, research shows that people who do extended periods of low-carb dieting, like keto, end up needing thyroid medication because of the metabolic slowdown. Then we have examples like the Biggest Loser contestants who they followed for 5 to 6 years after the show, and they regained all or more of their weight back. There was only one contestant from season 7 that maintained their weight. Everybody else gained it all or more back. And a year later after the show, they measured their leptin levels and they were still close to zero. So this is all about using a plan that you can sustain and adhere to, because these are the side effects that happen with low carb dieting. Now, this can also lead to a loss of muscle mass and a lack of performance. There's a lot of research studies coming out now showing that keto dieters and low carb dieters in general end up losing muscle. And there is a huge difference when you step on the scale between losing weight and losing fat. And this is a huge mistake that people make. People go on extreme diets and they lose 30 plus pounds in a month, and they think it's because they cut carbs. When in reality, what's happening is they lost a ton of water, and yes, they lost a lot of body fat, but there is no way they lost that much body fat. They're most likely losing muscle. So for me personally, I'm all about, again, a lifestyle versus a diet. It's all about adherence and sustainability. So what is the solution to make all this work, and how do we carb cycle? So over here, you're going to say I have 3 types of days that I personally use and that we share with our clients inside of our community and my Rip Grandpa app. The first day is called a carb deplete day. Now on a carb deplete day, we're going to be in an aggressive deficit, okay? The second day is called a carb down day, and you're going to be into a moderate deficit. So these are the 2 days that we use Monday through Friday. So we have this Monday through Friday moderate or aggressive deficit, but you hardly even notice it or it doesn't even feel like a diet because you're carb cycling. So it's like a 5-day fat burning phase. Then on the weekends, we're going to intentionally carb up, and we're going to be at maintenance and in a surplus on purpose, number one, because it caters to our social life. We're way more likely on the weekends to go to ball games, to go to parties, to go to weddings, to want to drink alcohol, to want to eat more carbs, to want to eat more cheat food. And so this caters to our natural way of living on an everyday basis. And you overcome all the pitfalls of low calorie and low carb dieting. So you prevent the hormonal decline by resetting leptin and thyroid hormones. You stop metabolic slowdown through 2 pathways. Number one, these hormones control your metabolic rate, and you have an influx of calories coming in from your carb up days, which leads to DIT, diet-induced thermogenesis, also known as TEF, the thermic effect of food. So you stop metabolic slowdown and keep your metabolism cranking. You stop the deficiencies that happen from dieting. You also increase your body's ability to gain muscle while decreasing your body's ability to lose muscle as long as protein is adequate, because carbs are very anabolic and muscle sparing. And of course, this increases your overall performance, both mentally and physically, and leads to what? Better overall adherence and sustainability. So it's all about a lifestyle and not a diet. So we have a free 14-day challenge inside of our community. So if you click the link in the description or in the pinned comment, for free, we're going to give you 14 days, give you a taste of our carb cycling program. 100% free. We just want you to engage in our community, help like-minded people like you build a lifestyle of leanness and become a 6%er. And so I'm super grateful that you watch this. If you got something out of it, do me a favor, share it and like it. And of course, time's our most precious commodity. I'm always grateful when people take time out of their busy day to consume my content. So thank you for watching, and God bless.